Are you a youth coach who struggles to get their players to practice at home, to practice on their own, or even a parent or a player who is struggling to find out what to do or training at home is just hard? Trust me, you are not alone. This is all too common. And in this video, I'm covering the top 5 biggest struggles with parents and players training at home. Hey team, welcome to another Bullpen Bulletin with Coach Hart and Building Better Baseball. And in this video, we're covering the top 5 struggles of training at home, and I give you some tips on how to fix it. This is actually part of a 3-video series that's going to come out. This is part 1, and in this video, we cover the struggles. The next video, I'm going to give you some practical drills and activities you can do. And in the 3rd video, I'm going to go over the biggest benefits of you training at home, not just skill work, but other areas as well. So let's get into this video. All right, the first struggle is the limited space or equipment. I hear this all the time. Hey, I don't have enough space. I don't have any equipment. All the equipment that we use is the coaches or the teams, right? Now, the first thing is the most common struggle with at-home training is lack of space or equipment. That's what we just said, right? Although I understand this issue, this doesn't mean that you can't do anything. Just because you don't have a tee, just because you don't have certain types of equipment or certain space, that doesn't mean that you can't do anything and you are only left with your practice time with your team, the 2 days a week or 1 day a week that you practice, right? There are many things you could do to improve your skills with limited space and limited equipment. All right, so going forward, my first question is there a field available around your neighborhood or around your area? Preferably walking distance. Can you walk to a field? If not, are you able to drive there? And it doesn't have to be a baseball field. It can be just a large grassy area, right? It doesn't have to be an official field. It's just a larger space than what you might have at your home. And I know that some people don't have that, right? They only have the home and maybe like a little backyard, right? And we'll get to what you can do in those situations. All right. But if you have a field that you can go to, then go to that field and practice there. Now, you want to choose drills or activities that you can work in your space, that can work in the space that you have, whether it is using a tee or a wall of some sort, right? Using a small yard. All right. So in those scenarios, when you choose the drills or activities, and remember, the second video, I'm going to give you some drills and activities that you can do in a small space. So this video is just covering the struggles, right? Now, you can choose the drills or activities that can work in your space. If you have a wall in your basement, you can ball up a sock and use a sock to throw the sock at the wall. Right? It's not going to hurt the wall. It's soft, and you're still working on your throwing mechanics, right? If you have like a wiffle bat or some sort of smaller bat-like thing, even a stick outside. If you have a small yard and you don't have a bat, you could go outside and just pick up a stick and work on your swinging mechanics with a stick. Right? So you could find different ways to improve your skills with limited equipment, with limited space. Okay. And if all else fails, you could always do just dry mechanics. Dry mechanics mean that you don't have anything with you as far as equipment, and you literally have your bedroom that you're working in. You could go through dry mechanics of your pitching motion, of your swing, of different things like that. Right? So you could do different things, and at-home training, it does not always have to be like skill work with like fielding and hitting and pitching and things like that. You could work on your vision. You could work on your hand-eye coordination where you practice like juggling 3 balled up socks. Right? You could do different things like that. You could improve your vision. You could do some push-ups or get your legs stronger by doing body weight squats, different things like that. So at-home practice does not have to be like skill work where you're doing stuff that you normally would do on a baseball field. You can improve your skills in so many different ways. So try to open your mind just a little bit of all the possibilities that you have. Look around your basement. Look around your room. Like, what kind of items do you have that you could use that could resemble a piece of baseball equipment, right? So in this limited space, limited equipment realm, you got to work with what you got. And that's actually what I say here, right? Remember, anything is better than no work. Anything is better than nothing, right? So you work with what you have. You have no control over what you have and what you don't have, right? You can only work with what you have. So try to get creative, right? And just try different things. Like I said, a balled up sock is a perfect ball to use in those limited spaces, right? You could throw it against the wall. You could play catch with it, right? You could do different things. If you go outside and you don't have a bat, you could use a stick. Just pick up a stick and practice your hitting mechanics. You could hit the balled sock, right? So different things like that. Just try to get creative in that limited space and limited equipment. I definitely understand this struggle, and you can only work with what you got. So, like I said, in the next video, in the second video of this series, I'm going to give you some practical drills and activities you could do in a small space. So the third one, limited time available. All right. So the second struggle is the lack of time, right? In our fast-paced go, go, go world, I completely understand this. I feel busy myself. I'm sure everybody feels busy, that we're always just going, 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 and there's no time for rest. There's no time for anything else, right? But the one thing that might help is looking at your schedule and choosing a consistent time in the week to practice. So if you know that every single Monday evening you don't have baseball practice, and also you don't have anything else that you're doing after what, like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you could create a schedule for yourself of that Monday evening is my practice time at home. So you could, like I said, just do like an hour or a half hour or even whatever time limit that you have. You could set that schedule of every Monday after dinner or after school. That's my time to work at home. Right. So creating your own little schedule, finding those little spots in your schedule that could work would be really helpful, instead of just going day by day and finding a piece of time and just be like, oh, I can do it now, right? Try to plan it out just a little bit, and that'll help you be more successful. Another tip: 2 to 3 small sessions of practice beats one long grind session. So part of this, I feel like, is that kids, they don't really feel that a small session of like 10 minutes is beneficial to them as far as practice goes, right? They think that they need to have at least 30 minutes or 45 or an hour of work to have it be successful. And that's not true. You could do, if you don't have 60 minutes in the week to do it, you could do 3 sessions of 20 minutes, right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Let's say your practices are Tuesday, Thursday. You're not doing anything else. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you could do 20 minutes each. That's 60 minutes in the week, and that's 60 minutes more than some of your teammates are doing, right? So find those times, and remember, the small sessions, they do really help. They are very beneficial to you just as much as a larger grind session, right? And choose one thing to practice. So going back to that example, if you only have that 20-minute time period, choose one thing to improve on. If it's catching, do catching. If it's your swing, do your swing, and that's it, right? Only work on that one thing, and don't try to do everything at once. Don't take your bat and your glove and everything out to your small backyard and try to get everything in 20 minutes, right? Try to do fielding for 5 and then hitting for 5 and then jumping all over the place, right? It's better to choose one thing to work on, and then once you get that thing down, the next session you can focus on something else, right? So try to, and that'll open up the time as well. So if you have 20 minutes, 20 minutes of working on one thing is much better than 4 5-minute sessions of working on different things, if that makes sense. So try to schedule your time, find a time in your schedule to basically, that's my at-home practice time, and then also choose one thing. And even if you can get 10, 20 minutes in on that one thing, that's much better than doing nothing at all. All right. Now, the lack of structure. The third struggle is the lack of structure during the practice sessions. All right. A lot of players and parents, they have the mentality of just go practice, right? Oh, I'm just going to go out and practice. Or the parents tell their kids to, oh, just go practice, right? And what does that really mean? What does that mean, right? I mean that in the nicest way possible. Of what does that mean? What's that involve, right? There needs to be some sort of plan going into a practice session at home, because there needs to be some sort of structure, right? Hopefully, A good coach will arrive to practice with a practice plan and know exactly what they're going to do, right? Same thing at home. There needs to be a plan. It's not just, oh, go outside and swing the bat or go outside and do this, right? Go practice. There needs to be more than that in order for it to be a beneficial session. All right. So first, figure out which part of your game you need the most improvement. All right. Is it your hitting? Then you're going to practice your hitting. Is it your fly ball catching, where you could just take a ball, throw it up to yourself, and practice catching the ball? Is it your throwing mechanics, pitching mechanics, anything, right? Whatever you need most improvement on, that's what you should do at home, because when you are at practice with your team, you can work on all of the other things that you are much better at skill wise, and you can take what you need the most improvement on skill wise and work on that at home, right? So take at home practice should be working on what you need the most improvement at, right? And select the drills you'll do and a time to do it, right? That sets the structure. So select the drills before you go out, right? Even if it's like a 2 minute, 3 minute kind of go through the drills, you say to yourself, all right, Monday evening, that's the time, 5 o'clock, right when I get home from school off the bus, I'm going out to the backyard. That's my practice time. I really need to work on my hand skills in fielding and fielding ground balls. So I'm going to do this drill, this drill, this drill, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to do it. That is structure. You know exactly what you're going to do, and you go out and you do it at that time that you set. All right. And remember, quality reps over quantity. It does not matter how many reps you do if all of them are bad reps. You don't want to reinforce bad habits. You don't want to create bad muscle memory in your skills and in your mechanics. So make sure that each one is a quality rep. 10 quality reps beats 100 quantity or 100 bad reps any day of the week. All right. So the fourth one, loss of interest. The fourth struggle is kids losing interest in the sessions, right? This is likely a result of the kids being bored or repeating boring drills. And the one thing I want to say with this is don't forget that the best players learn to love boring. All right, I just want to put that out there that the best players in baseball or any sport, they learn to love boring. They fall in love with boring, right? They fall in love with the simple stuff, the small stuff, right? So after that, if you're losing interest, create a little game out of your sessions. All right, whatever drill you're doing or whatever session you're doing or practicing, create a game out of it. All right, add points to whatever you're doing. If you are practicing your fly ball catching and you're throwing the ball up and you're catching it, see how many times in a row you can catch it. Add points. Each one you catch is a point. All right, so or make like if you're throwing the ball up and you're hitting it, right? See how many times in a row you can hit it, right? Add points, right? Create a little game out of it. Have some fun with it, right? And that's what I say here is baseball is supposed to be fun. Be creative and have some fun. Be creative, have some fun. Just like take your drill activity, add a point system to it, add a little game into it, and just make it a little fun. And if you're seriously doing the same thing over and over and over, maybe switch it up. Maybe choose a different drill, choose a different skill to work on, right? And have that back and forth mentality of like, oh, I'm gonna work on this today, and we're gonna make a little game out of it, and we're gonna add a point system to it, right? Make a little fun out of it. All right. So the lack of proper feedback, the last one. The last struggle is not having the correct or proper feedback on your reps. All right, as you can see this picture, the kid completely missed it. He doesn't have the best hitting skills or the hitting mechanics, and a parent or himself would probably like some proper feedback on how to fix that swing, right? So some parents don't know much about baseball, but they want to help their child improve, but they don't know what the correct rep should look like. I'm sure this is very common, right? They don't know what it should look like. And my one tip with this is to use film, all right? Take out your iPhone or take out your phone, film a video, right? Take a video on your phone because watching yourself on video is powerful, right? So the kid seeing themselves on video, they could notice something and then they say, oh, coach actually said that to me, and now I know exactly what he means because I see it on video. This is how he told me to correct it, right? So that could help. Also, if you search up YouTube on proper mechanics, maybe like an MLB player on their swing mechanics, take your video and compare your video to that YouTube video or the proper mechanic video, right? So there are different ways where you could create your own proper feedback. It doesn't always have to be a coach. It doesn't always have to be a professional or an expert guru, whatever. You can just take your feedback from your video. You could compare it to a YouTube video. Like I said, you can remember what your coach said about your different mechanics. Or you could, the last resort is just show your coach at the next practice, right? If you're the parent, take the video up to the coach, say, hey, coach, we were practicing at home. This is what he looks like. I'm not really sure how to help him. What do you think? All right. And I'm sure the coach would help you out, right? So those are just some simple things to kind of shift your mindset a little bit about practicing at home. And these are the biggest 5 struggles that I see. And these are just a little tips to help you out in your at-home practice. All right. And like I said, this is the first video of a three video series. Next video, I'm going to give you some practical drills and activities you could do in a small space. And also the third video, I'm going to go over the actual benefits of what happens when you practice at home. We just got to get over these struggles right here that we went over in this video. Okay. And if you're a coach and you want to plan your next practice in the next 10 minutes, grab your free coaching starter pack link below. It has a free 2-hour practice plan down below, and it will really help you out. All right, so remember, I'm Coach Hart. This is Building Better Baseball. This is the best place for baseball education, and I will see you in another video real soon.